All right, everyone. Senate Appropriations voted 30-1, I think it was, to advance Trump's border bill. It's sort of a compromise bill between the Republicans and Democrats in Congress and Trump, in that it contains a lot of humanitarian aid and a lot of things for upgrading and expanding detention facilities. And that's the general gist is general security. This doesn't have anything to do with the wall, but Trump now gets a third victory, assuming that this clears the Senate in general, which it probably will. Goes to the House. It may or may not clear there. The Democrats control the House, but I don't think that they want to stymie a bipartisan bill that the Democrats themselves helped to design. I think that would look very bad. Trump would say, look, they're so obstructionist, they won't even pass their own fucking bill, and then he'll wash his hands of the situation. So first, Trump scored a victory with Mexico last week. Mexico said, yes, we will increase border security. We're going to facilitate, trying to stop people at our border. We're going to try to crack down on the cartels. They're holding up their end of a bargain that was in part already struck. Trump expanded upon it by the threat of tariff. He won. Within 48 hours, he won. So that was victory number one. Victory number two is with Guatemala. They're set to become a safe third country. If that happens, a lot of the asylum seekers and migrants that we have to deal with now won't be here. They'll be in Guatemala. They'll mill around there because they won't be legally entitled to seek asylum here. That'll take huge pressure off our border, which will already have pressure taken off by Mexico's overtures. Now you have this. This increases our border security. It falls short of funding the wall, but it fulfills everything else. We definitely do need to upgrade the border crossing situation. We need that to be more efficient. We do need more border agents. We do need more detention facility beds because they are overcrowded. Once you solve, by the way, the overcrowding problem, Trump will get his way and be able to deport people more easily. Deportations will already begin with regards to some people who overstayed on, they were refugees before, now they're not really, or whatever. They'll be deported to Guatemala. Over 1 million people, by the way. This will clear up to allow even more deportations, because the only reason the court stood in the way of Trump enforcing existing law that previous incarnations of Congress have made is because, well, the border, you can't deport people because you got to understand, you can't deport them and you can't detain them for long periods because, even if you need more time to process them because of overcrowding. It's inhumane, it violates international law, so you can't do it. It violates their rights as human beings. But if they're not overcrowded, if you've got more beds and less people coming in, then you can detain them for a lot longer. That means you can find out where they're from and there's no longer any reason not to allow deportation to begin. That's basically what this is. This is a triple victory for Trump in a very short span of time on the immigration. Basically, the only thing left is to build his wall. He's gotten some funding for it, and some other significant funding that's nonetheless on hold, awaiting a SCOTUS decision. If that goes through and he wins re-election in 2020, I have no doubt that he'll build the rest of his wall, because the psychological value of it, the psychological value of getting two reluctant Latin American states to work with us, upgrading everything about our border and then managing to complete the wall, that is a total victory for Trump. That ticks every mark that he would want, that his fans would want. It would be an unequivocal victory for the Republican Party as well, despite the fact that some Republicans were foremost in obstructing it. The neocons, especially when the Republicans ran the House, they were the ones that were preventing stuff like that from going through. Trump should have had carte blanche to build his wall in the first place, but there were Republican holdouts in the House that continuously blocked it from happening. And in the Senate as well. You got to remember John McCain still was alive, unfortunately, at the time. So really, there was more obstruction there, now a little bit less. Romney, sort of trades places, but, who fucking cares? He's a neocon that just wants war and stuff. He gets along maybe more with Lindsey Graham's people. Lindsey Graham has to be like the missing link between Trump, because he sort of agrees with him on the border and Democrat obstruction, and the neocons, because Lindsey Graham still likes war a lot. He really likes it. He remembers those good times that he and John McCain were in a bubble bath watching CNN war footage, probably. Oh, I'm sure that they had a great time of that after, 9/11. A bunch of war pig freaks. But the border bill is overwhelmingly cleared appropriations, which means at least at the Senate level, it gets through. At the House level, there'll be more debate. They might modify it and send it back, but it'll, probably go through. And if it gets defeated, Trump has plausible deniability, because he can always say, well, the Democrats are obstructing a bill that they themselves helped design. So it's not exactly a victory for the Democrats either way you look at it. That's about all. Peace out.